Welcome to the Centerville Middle School National Geographic Society GOB Final Competition. A huge round of applause for our 9 participants and for those who reached today's final. Each year, the GOB empowers millions of students to be curious and knowledgeable global citizens. We'd like to introduce you at this time to today's 9 school finalists. They are Chase Barrick, Carter Gingrich, Declan Jones, Audra Kerner-Smith, Lindsay Over, Matthew Ovadik, Aiden Pronovost, Zeke Stevens, and Liam Sweeney. Again, a round of applause for our finalists. Today, we will determine our school champion, and that student will have the opportunity to advance to the next level of the competition. The national champion wins a college scholarship from National Geographic and a prize trip. Before we begin, I would like to ask everyone in the room to turn off all electronic devices. The audience may not record the school GOB in any form. Any activity that could be distracting to the contestants here in our studio is not permitted. Today's competition will consist of first a final round and then a championship round. Final round questions will reduce the number of contestants from 9 to 2. These 2 finalists will then compete with a clean slate in the championship round. In the final round, a contestant is eliminated after answering 2 questions incorrectly. I will begin each series of questions with the same student. If this student has been eliminated, questioning will begin with the next available student. After each student has responded to a question in a series, those who gave their second incorrect answer will be excused unless all are eliminated. If this happens, those students who gave their second incorrect answer during that series will continue to receive final round questions until 2 finalists and a third place winner are determined. It's much like a spelling bee. If only one student remains after a series of questions, that student automatically becomes one of the 2 finalists and will be asked no more questions. Those students who gave their second incorrect answer during that series will continue to receive questions until the second finalist is determined. The procedures will change for the championship round. I'll announce those procedures at that time. As a reminder, each contestant will have 15 seconds to answer each question unless we tell you otherwise. And contestants, you must start to give your answer before the time limit is up. Contestants may interrupt the final competition only twice to have either a question repeated or a word spelled. Also, contestants, please remember to listen carefully to each question and use correct geographic terminology in your answers. For example, do not use Holland as a synonym for the country Netherlands, and do not use England for the country United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, as England is only a political subdivision. Also, do not say just America if you mean the USA. Give present-day names unless the question involves history, and other names would be correct in the context of the question. As the GOB is conducted in the English language, wherever possible, conventional English place names are used. Shortened forms of country names are acceptable, such as United Kingdom, Great Britain, or just Britain for the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. You will not be penalized for inaccurate pronunciations or spellings as long as it can be determined that you know the correct answer. GOB questions follow the National Geographic Society's policy of recognizing Europe and Asia as two different continents. Oceania is considered a region rather than a continent and will not be accepted as a correct answer if you meant the continent of Australia. In addition, the National Geographic Society recognizes 4 oceans: the Arctic, Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific. All information was current at the time the GOB questions were finalized back in September 2019. The rulings of our judges and scorekeepers are final, and good luck to all our contestants. And also, thank you off camera for the able and willing support of our social studies department. Without any further ado, let's begin, and we encourage all of our viewers to follow along and keep score. See how you would do. The first set of questions is about the United States and will require oral answers. Each of you will answer a different question, and you'll have 15 seconds to give me your answer. So at this time, for contestant number 1, and as we progress in this round, as in all rounds, we'll go right around our table here in the studio from contestants 1 through 9 as they pass the microphones to each other so that we can hear them clearly. For contestant 1, your question is, the Black Rock Desert is an arid region that was the location of a prehistoric lake north of Reno, in which present-day western state?
Arizona?
No, I'm sorry, it's in Nevada. Next, Laredo, located on the Rio Grande, is a major inland port in which southern state?
Texas.
Texas is correct. Contestant 3, Plymouth Rock, where the Pilgrims of the Mayflower are said to have set foot on American soil, is located near Cape Cod, in which northeastern state?
Maryland.
I'm sorry, it's the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. In 2018, Hurricane Michael strengthened in the Gulf of Mexico and made landfall near Panama City, in which southern state?
Missouri.
No, it's Florida. The city of Utkaravik was known as Barrow until 2016. It is located in the North Slope Borough and is the northernmost city of which state?
New Mexico?
No, I'm sorry, it's in Alaska. Contestant number 6. The Penobscot River is navigable from Penobscot Bay to Bangor and is the longest river located entirely in what New England state?
Massachusetts.
No, it's in Maine. Close to 100 species of butterflies have been identified in the Great Dismal Swamp, a region dominated by forests and marshes on the border between Virginia and which other Atlantic state?
North Carolina.
That's correct. Once the western terminus of the Northern Pacific Railroad, Tacoma is a major port and industrial city in which northwestern state?
Washington.
That is correct. Camp David, a presidential retreat in Catoctin Mountain Park, is located in which eastern state that borders Delaware?
Maryland.
That's correct. Maryland is correct. This next question is called a GOB Impact Challenge question and is designed to test your critical thinking skills and your ability to apply geographic knowledge to real-world scenarios. You will receive a handout of a photo with 3 answer choices. Each of you will answer the same multiple choice question by circling your answer choice on the handout. That's why you all have markers in front of you. We will also project the answer choices for the audience. I will read the question twice once you have a copy, so you may not ask for a repeat. You will have 15 seconds to circle your answer. Keep your eyes on your own paper. When I call time, put down your markers and hold up your answers. Our timekeepers off camera will signal me when to call time. So when that happens, you'll put down your markers and hold up your answers. Here's the question, and do you all have a copy in front of you now? I see that you do. The critically endangered red wolf, pictured here as part of the National Geographic Photo Ark, was once widespread across much of the United States, but hunting and loss of habitat pushed the species to the brink of extinction. The last natural population lived in coastal Louisiana and Texas. A small number of red wolves were later reintroduced to eastern North Carolina, to which type of habitat where they are especially well suited? Desert, tundra, or wetland? The question. The critically endangered red wolf, pictured here as part of the National Geographic Photo Ark, was once widespread across much of the United States, but hunting and loss of habitat pushed the species to the brink of extinction. The last natural population lived in coastal Louisiana and Texas. A small number of red wolves were later reintroduced to eastern North Carolina, to which type of habitat where they are especially well suited? Desert, tundra, or wetland? And we'll call time. Please hold your answer sheet so the judges can see your response. When I call on you, and I'll call on you by number, not to be rude, but just to speed things along, please read your answer out loud. Please keep your answers visible to the judges. Actually, they need to see it more urgently than I do until the scorekeeper has recorded the scores. Number 1, your answer, please.
Wetland.
2,
Wetland.
3,
Wetland.
4,
Wetland.
5,
Wetland.
6,
Wetland.
7,
Wetland.
8,
Wetland.
9.
Wetland.
And the correct answer is wetland. We'll pause for a moment while the scorekeeper reviews the scores. The next set of questions is about oceans and continents and will require oral answers. Please remember that the National Geographic Society recognizes Europe and Asia as two continents. Oceania is considered a region rather than a continent, and it will not be accepted as an answer for the continent of Australia. In addition, the National Geographic Society recognizes 4 oceans: Arctic, Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific. Each of you will answer a different question for this round, and you will have, as before, 15 seconds to give me your answer. Contestant 1. The Marshall Islands and Solomon Islands are located in what ocean?
The Pacific Ocean?
That is correct. Australia and which other continent lie entirely in the southern hemisphere?
Antarctica.
That's correct. Lake Baikal in Siberia contains an estimated 1/5 of the world's liquid fresh water and has many endemic plant and animal species. On what continent is Lake Baikal located?
Asia.
Correct. Which continent is home to the most speakers of Celtic languages, such as Welsh and Gaelic?
Europe.
Correct. Vancouver Island and Kodiak Island are located off the coast of which continent?
North America.
That's correct. Government-designated preserves have helped protect giant tortoises in the Seychelles, a country made up of over 100 islands located north of Madagascar. In what ocean?
Indian Ocean.
Correct. Coral bleaching occurs when coral reefs are under stress, often due to warmer than normal waters. One heavily impacted reef is the Great Barrier Reef, located off the coast of what continent?
Australia.
Correct. The Drake Passage connects the Pacific Ocean with what other ocean?
The Indian Ocean.
No, I'm sorry, it's the Atlantic. Over the last half century, desertification has occurred across the semi-arid area known as the Sahel. On which continent is the Sahel located?
Africa.
Correct. This next question will test your map reading skills. You will receive a handout of a map with 3 answer choices. Each of you will answer the same multiple choice question by circling your answer choice on the handout. We will also project the question and answer choices for the audience. I'll read the question twice, so you may not ask for a repeat. This time, you'll have 30 seconds to answer and circle your answer right on the paper. Keep your eyes on your own handout. When I call time, put down your markers and hold up your answers as before. Here's the question. Use the map and scale provided and your own knowledge to answer this question. Which of the following African countries has an area most similar to that of South Africa? Algeria, Ethiopia, or Ghana? Which of the following African countries has an area most similar to that of South Africa? Algeria, Ethiopia, or Ghana? Time is up. As before, please hold up your answer sheets so the judges can see your response. When I call on you, please read your answer aloud. Please keep your answers visible until our scorekeepers have recorded the scores. Number 1,
Ethiopia.
2,
Ethiopia.
3,
Ethiopia.
4,
Algeria.
5,
Ethiopia.
6,
Ghana.
7,
Algeria.
8,
Ethiopia.
9.
Algeria.
The correct answer is Ethiopia. We will pause for a moment while our scorekeepers and judges review our standings and scores. Back in a moment. The remaining final round questions will require oral answers. Each of you will answer a different question. You will have 15 seconds to answer your question. Let's begin. The Niger River Delta dominates the southeastern coast of what country that is divided into 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja?
South Africa?
No, Nigeria. Recent water shortages in the city of Chennai and the state of Haryana highlight the challenges faced by what Asian country with highly stressed water supplies?
Afghanistan?
No, India. The Po River Valley, which includes the cities of Milan and Verona, is one of the most densely populated regions of what country?
Saudi Arabia.
No, Italy. In 2016, what country, the largest by area in South America, became the first on the continent to host the Olympic Games?
Brazil.
Correct. In 1956, what country on the Strait of Gibraltar gained its independence from France and regained possession of the city of Tangier?
Libya?
No, Morocco. Busan and Incheon are cities located in what Asian country known for its technology industries?
Can you repeat the question?
Busan and Incheon are cities located in what Asian country known for its technology industries?
China?
No, South Korea. Good growing conditions near Bogota have helped what country become the world's second largest exporter of cut flowers?
Can you repeat the question?
Good growing conditions near Bogota have helped what country become the world's second largest exporter of cut flowers? We'll take that as no answer. It's the country of Colombia. At this time, we'll consult with our judges. Back in a moment. Congratulations to our two finalists who will now compete in the championship round. And our finalists are Carter Gingrich and Lindsay Over. You'll be competing with a clean slate. The championship round that we now begin consists of 3 questions. I'll ask both of you the same question at the same time, and you will have 15 seconds to write your answer on the whiteboard in front of you. When I call time, you'll put down your markers and hold up your answer. Then I will ask each of you in turn to read your answer out loud. I will wait to give the correct answer until both answers have been read. Whoever correctly answers the most questions in the set of 3 will be our school champion. As before, you will not be penalized for inaccurate pronunciations or spellings as long as it can be determined that you know the correct answer. If there is a tie after the set of 3 questions, I will explain the tiebreaker procedure. I'll read each question twice so you may not ask for another repeat or spelling. Listen carefully before writing your answers. Here's the first of our 3 questions. The wreck of the last known slave ship to arrive in America was recently discovered near Mobile, a major seaport in what state that borders the Gulf of Mexico? Again, the wreck of the last known slave ship to arrive in America was recently discovered near Mobile, a major seaport in what state that borders the Gulf of Mexico? Time, and your answers are, Carter, and hold it up so our judges can see,
Alabama.
and Lindsay.
Florida.
Alabama is correct. Our second question. Teenager Greta Thunberg started a global movement bringing attention to climate change when she protested outside of her country's parliament house, located in the Gamla stan district of what Swedish city? Again, teenager Greta Thunberg started a global movement bringing attention to climate change when she protested outside of her country's parliament house, located in the Gamla stan district of what Swedish city? Time. Your answers, Carter
Stockholm.
and Lindsay.
Stockholm.
Stockholm is correct. And our third question. A National Geographic Pristine Seas expedition helped gather scientific data to support the creation of a marine protected area surrounding Ascension Island. Ascension Island is located in the South Atlantic and is part of an overseas territory of what country? Again, a National Geographic Pristine Seas expedition helped gather scientific data to support the creation of a marine protected area surrounding Ascension Island. Ascension Island is located in the South Atlantic and is part of an overseas territory of what country? Time. Carter, your answer?
The United Kingdom.
And Lindsay?
Mexico.
And the correct response is the United Kingdom. We'll now take a moment for our judges to make it official. We'll be back in just a bit. welcome back. If you've been doing the math and watching carefully, this should come as no surprise, but we have a school champion, and his name is Carter Gingrich. Congratulations go out to him, and certainly Lindsay Over deserves some recognition too. She was our first runner-up and did a fine job as well. So again, congratulations to all of our participants in this year's edition of the National Geographic Society's Geography Bee. And finally, a final word of thanks to all our behind-the-scenes, off-camera folks, the technical crew here at WCMS, Mrs. Deemer, and all of our history teachers who provided all the judging and scorekeeping. Thank you very much, and tune in next time for the Geography Bee.